Great show coming at you today on Ion Franchising, and I'm your host, Lance Graulich. I have Brian Garrison. He's the president of Wonderly Lights.
Up next,
Wonderly operates in all of these verticals, really gives a new franchise owner a great opportunity to create a really strong year-round business and really focused in on that premium clientele that's interested in all four of those verticals.
Really blown away by the quality of the franchisees that were featured, and we're not talking one or two.
Our franchisees and our customers really enjoy what they get out of this.
This episode sponsored by SEO Samba. Empower your franchise with predictable results and AI-driven marketing. Brian, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Lance. Great to be here. Very excited to be able to join you today.
I am super excited to have you. So, what makes Wonderly Lights a great first franchise and a great additional business line?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I mean, what I really love about Wonderly and really the premium outdoor lighting industry kind of more generally is there are really three or four really distinct and exciting verticals, all of which are really kind of in demand and increasing interest for homeowners and businesses alike. They're all technology driven. And these would include the basics of like landscape and architectural lighting, permanent LED lighting, which has really taken off, outdoor event lighting, which is oftentimes referred to as bistro lighting, and then of course, holiday lights, which we all love and enjoy. So, the fact that Wonderly operates in all of these verticals really gives a new franchise owner a great opportunity to create a really strong year-round business and really focused in on that premium clientele that's interested in all four of those verticals. So that's super exciting. That's the future for Wonderly. That's what we've been focused on for well over a year now. But we really cut our teeth, in the niche business of holiday lights. And so I think that's what you mean by the great additional business line. And that holiday light space is a lot of fun. We launched, over 3 years ago now, and really did focus in on that holiday light business and really focused in on finding entrepreneurs who wanted to complement their existing business portfolios. And that's really how we built the nucleus of what Wonderly Lights is today. So, we understand that specific vertical really well. We remain really excited about supporting those entrepreneurs who want to add to their business empire, if you will, but definitely looking to grow the full service or the full franchise model as well. So very excited to operate in both spheres, if you will.
So you have quite a few franchise owners of Wonderly Lights that own other franchises. How did that happen?
Absolutely. Very deliberately. And we saw it as a way to accelerate the growth of the brand. We're part of Buzz Franchise Brands. That's our parent company, which really has, over almost a 15-year history in home service franchises, if you will, starting with Mosquito Joe. And so we've maintained great relationships with these owners over the years. And so when we decided we were going to incubate this brand, we said, let's accelerate it and really focus in on those owners who wanted to add to their empire, if you will. So we have owners from Mosquito Joe, which we used to own, from Pool Scouts, which we still own. We had some connections into CertaPro painters, brothers that just do gutters. So we have a nice sprinkling of owners across a number of different franchise systems who wanted to complement their businesses for one reason or another. Maybe the seasonality, maybe they're just serial entrepreneurs and they can never get enough. And they like working with us and we like working with them. So that really helped us to accelerate the launch of the brand.
So Wonderly is still a young brand. Folks listening want to understand, why now? Obviously there's territory.
There's plenty of territory. We're only selling in the U.S., but we have a lot of white space out there. But, notwithstanding, we're really at an inflection point, I think. We have this amazing group of owners, about 45 open locations, largely the eastern third of the U.S., have some really, I think, exciting new owners coming on board in the next couple of weeks. We've had a nice run of Meet the Team days the last couple of weeks. But there's a ton of opportunity for mentorship and support. As you well know, as franchise systems scale, not many of them get over 100 owners, but they do become a little more impersonal. It's a little harder to have that connectivity. But if you were at our convention, this past February, I think we had some great outtakes from that. I think some of it's on our website, but just a great group of owners. They've been through the business world before, or the franchising world before, like I mentioned, so they understand franchising, but they're super excited about outdoor lighting. Um, so I think that's a great mentorship and support opportunity while you're still, less than 50 owners, and kind of hitting that inflection point where it's going to take off.
So I really want to ask who your ideal franchisee is, but I have to say this. You mentioned your website. As part of
Yep.
my research for this particular podcast, I went to the Wonderly Lights website, and I was really blown away by the quality of the franchisees that were featured. And we're not talking one or two. There was a whole string of franchisees. And I was looking for that little description. You ever watch a TV commercial and you see some sort of model and you say, this isn't a customer, this is just a
Yeah.
model? So I was figuring these are models. These aren't, they were so articulate. They all seem good looking. I don't know. So I'm like, what's going on? What's in the water at Wonderly Lights that everybody's like a good looking, articulate business owner here? And I don't know what you did. And I've never said this before in a podcast, but it's going on at Wonderly.
That's great. I do agree. It's a pretty awesome outtake. It must be kudos to Art, our videographer, our in-house videographer, and maybe he used a little AI. Maybe he enhanced in the visuals on all of us, made us a little taller, a
Nah,
little
I,
younger.
I, I think that's all them. But let's talk about besides somebody that's already an existing business owner and has made a wise decision joining Wonderly, those first time business owners, what are the qualities or characteristics, what are you looking for in that first time franchisee?
Yeah, I mean, you've probably heard the term. I know we've been using it for years. We call it the PhDs of entrepreneurship. People who are passionate, hungry, and driven. They want to jump into business, whether they're coming out of corporate America, or they're serial entrepreneurs. We want to work with both. But if you think about the skill set, uh, small business is about building relationships, and that relationship is within the community, to help build brand awareness and to generate interest in your business. So, there needs to be, if it's not you as an owner, it needs to be somebody you're willing to pay who can go out there and wave the flag, if you will, the Wonderly Lights flag, and generate interest, not only amongst prospective clients, but also building a team. You need personnel, you need CSRs to answer the phone. So somebody has to have that comfort level working with people, and enjoy engaging people. This is really a business. We've been in some other businesses at the buzz level that, mosquito control or home cleaning is not always the most exciting or fun business. This is a fun business. Our franchisees and our customers really enjoy what they get out of this, whether it's the holiday lights or adding to their landscape and architectural lighting to create more visually compelling outdoor living space. So, people really love this business. And so if you like engaging with people, that's a great characteristic. We're going to bring the marketing expertise. We're going to bring the analytic expertise. That's, some of the core strengths, I think, of the Buzz Franchise Brands team. But that people side, that relationship building side is helpful. Having a sales background certainly doesn't hurt. Um, you know, we're going to help coach you on the finance and the analytics, but certainly if you understand the basics of numbers, there's some coursework we have our new franchisees go through before they get up and running. Because the reality we've learned is if you're coming out of corporate America, you may have a good understanding of financials in the world of corporate America, might not be the same as understanding a P&L for a small business. So if you can bring that skill set, you'll also do very well. And then, of course, you just need to be, organized and hungry. We often ask people, kind of our mission at the Buzz level is enabling people to realize their dreams. That's our tagline, if you will. And as I tell people during Meet the Team Day, look, this is always about money. I mean, nobody gets into business to lose money. So you're in this business to make money, but there's usually something else driving people. And if they can really anchor on that, whether it's want to go into business with my wife or my best friend, or I just want to have more control over my schedule, or I want to do something that I can pass on to my children. Understanding that motivating factor for an owner and then helping them to focus on that as they get through the scaling of the business is usually very helpful also.
So Brian, you've been doing this a really long time. In every franchise system, there are people that don't make it. There are people that just can't do it. And a lot of times, from my experience, 30 years in franchising, it's like those people that sneak into a job. They say everything they're supposed to during the interview, kind of fake it maybe. And I feel like that sometimes happens in franchising. But when are people just not successful? What have they done wrong? I know a lot of times I hear things like they didn't follow the system or they hired the wrong person. To help them? What do you think?
Yeah, I tend to focus on, three main items. So one, when I'm meeting with prospective franchise owners, and I spend one-on-one time with each and every one of them, usually 45 minutes to an hour, I'm asking them, what do you think you're getting into? Because this isn't a turnkey investment. We're going to provide a lot of structure, a lot of support, a lot of collateral or content to get you up and running, but you need to run the business. And if you think you're going to hire somebody right out of the gate, then you better really expand or wrap around your mind that you're going to spend more money hiring somebody and you're going to extend your time to break even, because oftentimes you don't hire the right manager who's going to be aligned with your motivation as a business owner. So that's probably point number one. Uh, Point number two is you really have to invest in the marketing. Now, we're going to take a lot of that out of your hands. Again, a hallmark of Buzz Franchise Brands is we do required marketing. We're very deliberate about that. So we're going to make you market, but you still have to do the local marketing. What we can do centrally or corporately, if you will, through digital and direct mail and PR, still needs to be amplified by getting out in the community and being willing to engage and sell your business locally. And then the third piece is you do need to kind of figure out how to build a team. We don't want owners working in the business year in, year out. Some people want to do that. They want to turn wrenches or, install lights, and that's fine. Certainly good to know your own business, but you really should think about how you're going to build a team. And again, we're going to help with that, but we can't solve each and every personnel problem for an owner. And it is, it's a little, and you know this just as well as I do. If you're coming out of corporate America, you might not be used to the hiring of more of a technician workforce, and so there's a learning curve there, and sometimes people just can't get over that hump of how to
Yeah.
manage a technician workforce.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of talk in the world of business, a lot of talk about acquisitions. First business, just go acquire a business. Well, we know that's not exactly that easy. So why should people consider jumping into a franchise versus acquiring an existing business?
Well, there's a number of reasons, but I guess I would start with kind of a buyer beware admonition, I guess, of like, hey, if you're going to buy a local business, you better have a good set of financials. You better really understand what you're getting for the multiple they're going to be asking. And I do think there is sometimes a mismatch between, what a business owner thinks the business they've invested, 10, 15, 20 years of their time in, and what it's really worth at the end of the day. So you want to see good financials, good numbers if you're thinking about acquiring a business. When you look at the franchising side of that equation or the opposite side of that coin, franchises bring or should bring a proven track record, much more support in training, not just initially, but on an ongoing basis. We would say every one of our Wonderly Lights owners gets a lot of high touch support, annual site visits, sometimes multiple site visits, weekly, monthly coaching, whatever works into their schedule best. You're going to get the benefit, hopefully, of a growing brand nationally. So there's some buying power or some value to that brand. Um, and then certainly the support functionality. We have a lot of IT systems that we offer to our franchisees to help them run their businesses. So I think you're just getting a more button-up experience, and you're probably, increasing your odds of being successful as a first-time business owner.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in closing, share a piece of advice, a piece of wisdom for the audience, the aspiring entrepreneurs out there.
Well, I would kind of go back to what I mentioned earlier, I think. And so whenever I talk to prospective new owners, I really encourage them to master the business in that first year. And the phrase I often use is I say, you don't want to be held hostage to an employee. So if you think you're going to outsource 100% of the sales or 100% of the installation to an employee, well, what happens if that employee falls in love and moves cross country six weeks after you hire and train them? So, that's kind of the motivating factor I use, or maybe the fear factor I use when they're coming through training, to say, don't just kind of blow off what we're doing when we're out in the field and just say, I'm going to hire a guy to do that. You need to know what good looks like. You need to know how the system should operate so you can hold your teams accountable. But you don't want to be held hostage. You're investing your money in this business. You need to be able to run that business. Don't want to be doing it long. You want to eventually get back into, everybody talks about working in the business versus on the business. But you got to start out learning the basics. So be brilliant at the basics, and then move into the executive management role later.
Great stuff. Brian Garrison, president of Wonderly Lights. Thanks for being here.
Lance, thanks so much. Really appreciate the opportunity to join you today.
My pleasure.
If you're ready to talk about franchise opportunities, hit the link below to schedule a call. My services are free, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for listening.